It is day one of Watches and Wonders. If I'm sweating up here a little bit, it's because we've been running around. It's been an action-packed day, even though we're just in the afternoon. But for right now, we're gonna talk about one brand, and that brand is
Tudor, baby.
So we're gonna run through some of the highlights of the collection, or the new novelties, I should say. Ricardo, do you wanna kick things off?
Yeah, you know what? I just have to start off at the new Black Bay Pro. You know me, I'm a steel bezel fan. Getting that on the GMT, plus we get the added benefit of the T-fit bracelet now that we saw on the bronze.
Huge advantage.
Just overall, just love the package. I think a lot of people are gonna love that watch. Big thing too, what size is it?
39 millimeters.
Oh man, I know like hundreds of people who just literally went on their feet and just said, thank you, Tudor, for finally doing that.
But there's one caveat though. It's 39 millimeters, but its thickness,
that we don't quite know yet, but it seems like it might be just a bit thicker than we're used to seeing on something like the Black Bay 58.
Yeah. It's about 14 and change. I think it's 14.4. We can confirm that in the later coverage. But yeah, it's very exciting. I know you're a big GMT fan.
Oh man, I might be queued up on that line as soon as it comes out.
Big talk from Ricardo. Well, I'm gonna pivot to perhaps a lesser focused on collection within Tudor, and that's the Tudor Black Bay Steel and Gold, which the highlight there really is the fact that they're introducing a 39 millimeter size. So as we know, Rolex has been discontinuing a lot of references lately, and one of the references was the coveted Oyster Perpetual in 39. So while only in steel and gold for now, this is a sign that perhaps Tudor will expand the 39 millimeter sizing. We just saw it in the Black Bay Pro.
We did.
We're seeing it now in the steel and gold for Black Bay. Perhaps it will come to steel. So that's quite exciting. And speaking of steel and gold, we also have steel and gold Black Bay chronographs with champagne gold dials. We've seen them before in a previous generation of the chronograph, but in the newer, slimmer version, we hadn't had them yet. We do now. But we're not done with the steel and gold party. There's one more steel and gold reference I think we should talk about.
I think we're going to still go in tone of the Tudor Royale. Royale is also seeing a nice steel and gold template with the watches. One thing I do like there is we no longer have the kind of fluted bezel there. Now they've kind of replaced it with diamonds. I'd like to see what they continue doing with that, because I think it just opens up the design to a lot more people who were a little bit on the fence when it came to the older Tudor Royale.
And we actually have one more steel and gold reference to add into the mix. That's the Black Bay GMT. Ricardo, as a GMT lover, I'll let you take this one.
Oh man, it has a little bit of that gilt that many of us are used to.
That flavor.
Yes. Love the colors. One thing I always appreciate about Tudor's GMTs is they tone it down a little bit when it comes to the colors. Just has a nice toned down vibe. I think a lot of people are gonna love that watch.
Yeah, and of course, with the cap gold bracelets, you know, the steel and gold references, the two-tone pricing is nowhere near as high as perhaps what other brands do. So you get a mixed aesthetic. We see a lot of steel on the wrist, you know, in the wild. It's time to switch things up. Maybe let's go back to the 90s in flavor with some steel and gold, and you can do so at a much more approachable cost. So the steel and gold party is kind of welcome, and it's not an expensive party to join, at least for this sort of tier of watch. So I think that's the roundup for Tudor. Stay tuned for more. We'll see you soon.
Bye guys.